How's it going, everybody? Thank you for watching another video. As I was trying to troubleshoot and diagnose what was causing the lean engine code in my car, I started to think to myself, I am missing some pretty basic steps here, and that's what I wanted to cover today. Here are the top 3 things that you can do to help troubleshoot a lean engine code in your car. Now, these suggestions are thinking that you don't have an OBD2 scanner or you don't have a multimeter. The main point is you're collecting information, you're getting that data to help you validate it with a possible OBD2 scan or a multimeter, so you can kind of go through that process of elimination logically and come to a conclusion without just throwing parts at a problem. Now, the first thing you can do is clean out your throttle body. Now, here is the reason you want to clean that carbon out. Think about it like this, right? As you're opening your throttle plate up, the air is whooshing past it and it's picking up all that carbon and all the fumes, and it's basically choking your engine out. A good analogy is, let's say you're hanging on to a drink and it's super strong. You take a whiff of it, those vapors get into your nostril and you start coughing. That's the same thing that's going on with that carbon buildup. So get in there with a toothbrush, a shop towel, and clean that throttle body. Here is how you find your throttle body. You're going to have an air box. You just follow the hose all the way down to the ending. For me, it's right there. You're going to remove that, and that's where the opening to your throttle body is. You're going to stick a cloth in there or some shop towels. Just make sure that whatever you stick in there comes out. Don't leave anything in there. Now, you're going to have a throttle body plate. I have a wire operated throttle here. So what I'll do is get this, prop it open. I'll clean the throttle plate. I can get a toothbrush in there, kind of wipe it with that shop cloth and take it out. But that's how you find your throttle body. Number 2, check on your PCV valve. Now, as crazy as this may sound, that cheap little $10 valve, if it goes bad, can cause catastrophic engines and problems for you. Let's say it's stuck closed. Now, all of that blow-by gas doesn't have a way to get out, and it needs to find some way to get out. All that pressure is stuck in your crankcase, and sometimes it can blow out gaskets or even lead to engine sludge. And if it's stuck open, you're going to have way too much air getting into the throttle body, which of course is going to mess around with the metering of air, and it could lead to a lean engine code. Okay, right back here is my PCV valve. Now, I'm not going to take this thing out because getting it out is rough and putting it back in is even harder. But to find it, you're going to look somewhere on your valve cover. That's what this top portion is called here. When you find it, yours might be a twist and pull. Mine is just a pull out. Once you get it out, you're just going to shake it back and forth, and if it rattles, it should be good. Another thing you can do is check out the condition of both your MAP and your MAF sensors. Now, MAF sensors, mass airflow sensors, normally have a little wire in them. So if you take out the screws and you pull it out and that wire has all kind of gunk built up, just get some MAF cleaner and blow it out there. If that wire is covered, it's not going to report accurately the flow of air through it. So you want to make sure that that's clean. And also check out the wiring or see if it's damaged. But for the most part, if it's dirty, you want to make sure that it's clean. Same thing with the MAP sensor. Check out the wiring harness, see if it's damaged at all. Pull it off there and it should be clean underneath. And if it's dirty, just clean it off and put it back on. I'll be doing a separate video to show you how to test the MAP sensor, and when it's done, I'll leave a link for it right up here. Now, here is my MAP sensor. You're probably going to find it somewhere attached to the throttle body as well. And if you have a MAP sensor, normally it's located somewhere on your airbox. And here is a bonus 4th thing and a very important thing you can do to help troubleshoot that lean engine code. And that is looking for vacuum leaks everywhere in your engine bay. And the first place I would inspect is the hose connecting into the throttle body. Between all those little creases and folds can live little tiny cracks, especially if you live in a hot place, especially if your car is old. That plastic, it's really, really brittle. The main thing to know is, let's say you don't have any cracks in that hose. As you're pulling it out and putting it back in, make sure you don't add any cracks to something that wasn't there. And of course, check out the hoses in your car. I don't care if it's a vacuum hose or not a vacuum hose. A hole in a hose is never a good thing. And what you're going to do is take your fingers and just feel all the way around the hose as far as you can go. And for those hard to reach hoses or the ones that are hard to see, you can get one of these telescopic mirrors that bends all around. These are really useful. If you don't have one of these, I suggest getting one of these. I'll leave a link in the description below. And of course, you want to check on areas where you can see gaskets, like where the throttle body meets the air intake, where your valve cover hits your engine block. And of course, you want to pay attention to areas on your engine where there might be spots of moisture. And what I'm talking about is areas where the dirt is moist. That's how I found the leaks in my fuel injectors. Right around that area was just really moist dirt as compared to dry dust. Now, if you think you found an area with a crack in the gasket or a leak in your hose, what you can do is get in there, start her up, and run a little bit of propane over the area that you suspect has a leak in it. Now, the key to this is you open up very little, like really, really slow, and you just wave this very slowly over the affected area. You listen to the engine. If it stumbles, you found your leak. All right, let's zoom in a little bit closer to this area right here. So here is your valve cover. And here, let me pinch in just a little bit here. You can see right in here, there is a gasket that goes all the way around. So you just kind of want to visually inspect that. And for areas that are hard to get, like I was mentioning, you can just get a mirror like this to kind of go right around, just to see if you can see any visual cracks in that gasket. Like I was mentioning, having one of these is really useful. And just to show you, I've got cracked hoses everywhere. So this is the breather hose from my crankcase right here. You can see I tried to repair it with some gasket sealant, but cracked over here. And if you caught it, the PCV hose has a crack here. Fortunately for me, when I waved the propane over these areas, it wasn't a significant leak, but I got to get to the salvage yard to find a replacement for these soon. And right underneath my breather hose, so here's one of the fuel injectors. Right in that area, you can just see how all of that wet dirt got collected in there. So you notice that bolt right here is all dirty. This one is quite clean. That's where a lot of the leakage was happening. In fact, if you switch around to this side, you can see a lot more collection of that moist dirt I was talking about. So that gave me a good idea of where to start troubleshooting. Well, alright guys, there you go. 4 simple solutions to help you troubleshoot a lean engine code. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you in the next one.